Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. The hilarious hit Broadway musical comedy, The Prom, is getting ready to hit the road beginning on November 2nd in Cleveland. And I'm here with two of the show's stars.
I'm Kaden Carney, I'm playing Emma.
And I'm Patrick Wetzel, I'm playing Barry Glickman.
To chat about everything, The Prom. I am so excited to be sitting with the two of you here after your rehearsal for The Prom. How excited are the two of you? You're about to hit the road with The Prom, the national tour.
We are stoked, absolutely. I mean, we were just saying, and we're so happy to be working again, and we're so excited to take this show across the country.
To be back in rehearsal, and it's been a couple of weeks, and we're all a little rusty, but it all came back just like riding a bike. You know how it is.
None of us knew when the shutdown happened. It was, I was at 6 the night before, and we were all packed to go to the carpet the next day, and then we were told, Broadway was shutting down, and everybody thought, I'll go away, take a vacation for 2 weeks or whatever. It was 18 months. I mean, are you able to put those 18 months into perspective of what it was like for you?
A little. I worked at a grocery store the whole time, so essential worker, and, I was thankful to have a job, but it was also, intense, not doing what we love and being kind of immersed in the pandemic in that way on the front line. So I'm starting to. I think it's going to take time and perspective to kind of put together what we've all been through. Yeah.
Patrick, for you.
Well, I mean, it certainly gave us a new perspective on how much we love what we do, and gosh, it just made us realize how much we miss it. And get just even rehearsing. Normally it's not my favorite part of the process, but just walking in the studio, just all of a sudden we all kind of welled up and we're like, we're doing this. It's been ages, so it just reminded us how much we love it. Yeah.
The Prom is such a feel-good musical. It is so what the world needs right now. It's what the country needs right now. You're getting ready to hit the road. You're going to all these incredible cities. Tell me why you wanted to be a part of The Prom.
Oh my gosh. I saw The Prom on Broadway when I was doing my New York showcase for grad school. And it just hit me in all of the feel-good spots, like you said. And if I had seen this musical when I was in high school, it would have changed my life as a queer person. And the fact that we get to bring it to places where people might not have access to New York City, that and being able to do the show, for my own selfish reasons, it's incredible. I can't even describe the feeling. It's amazing.
Patrick, for you.
Well, I mean, it's such a heart-filled show. It's filled with so much joy, and there's lessons to be learned, and there's lots of growing to be talked about, but it's just filled with so much heart, and it feels so good to do it and to be able to show it to everyone around the country. Feels like a gift for us.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're playing Emma. I mean, what was your audition process like? Because this is all new now.
Yeah. The first round was virtual. We sent in self-tapes, and trying to sing musical theater in, your studio apartment. I'm so sorry to my neighbors. The amount of times I belted the end of that song. But truly, no. But and then the second round was in person, and it was one of the first in-person callbacks I'd had at the time. And then they did another round, and then we got the email, and
so it came through for an email for you saying you're going to be our Emma.
Yes, through my agents. And my agents emailed me, with big caps, congratulations, so. Yeah.
And everybody was there in the room, weren't they? Who was there at that second or the last one?
Yes, the Caseys, as we say. And let's see, Mary Mitchell was there. And I believe a few producers were there as well. And then they also had a camera for some folks who weren't able to be in the room. And to be honest, I might not even be able to tell you everyone who was there. Everyone was wearing masks, and I was so nervous just to be back in the room that it was kind of all a blur. But
what was the final song you had to sing?
It was Dance With You, and we also prepared Unruly Heart 2 for the second round. Wow. So, yeah.
Oh. And for you?
Well, I had to send in a tape for it, and then that was it. I mean, then they sent me, the news, and it was the best news I ever got. It's the dream role. It really is. The role of a lifetime. He just has so much, it's easy to connect with because, he has such a journey, and I'm very excited to do it.
What I love about you two is you have the journey together in this show. It's the Emma Barry thing. So, I mean, what's it like getting to know each other during rehearsals?
Oh, it's so wonderful. We were just chatting today about how many layers there can be in this show and how we as artists, everyone in the cast brings their own truth to the role, and we've been able to find some really wonderful moments together as Emma and Barry. And I think as queer actors too, it's really exciting to be in the room together and be able to express queerness together. I don't know. I think that that's really important and special, and needs to happen more often. Yeah.
It's really interesting because in these COVID times we've been wearing masks a lot during rehearsals.
Yeah.
So that's been an added layer of a challenge. But just this week we've been we're tested often just so that everyone knows. But just this week we were taking off our masks, and it was a new layer of we're seeing our whole faces and talking to each other and getting to relate. And that's been hugely helpful. We haven't even discussed this, but that has been, it makes our connection, which was there from day one, but it makes that even that much more special. We're just loving it so much.
Yeah. This is such a groundbreaking musical. It was when it first came to Broadway. I mean, and that first kiss on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was a really, really big deal. But this show I saw the show many, many times, and I just love the audience that came to this show in New York. And you're going to get that across America. I mean, how important is that for you to have a diverse audience and to teach people at the same time, to entertain people at the same time? I mean, there are so many wonderful messages in this show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important that we connect with each other, and we're trying to think of ways we can continue to do that despite COVID, if stage doors can't happen and things like that. But connecting with this, first of all, when the cast list was announced, I mean, the amount of love I received from this fan group, I mean, the Unruly Heart Club is incredibly kind and generous and lovely. I think it's so important that we find each other, you know what I mean? Because that's so much what this show's about, and also it's important that we connect and that we can, make sure we feel seen, I think, right?
Yeah, and we live in New York City where everyone is so accepting, and it's such a gift to be able to go around and present this story to people who may not be as accepting as New Yorkers are, and we're very excited to do that, and we feel very brave, but we're ready to tell this story to everyone.
Well, it's a musical that tells it in a very entertaining way. But, a lot of people went to the prom and said, oh, I see myself up there. I've never seen myself on stage. And that must mean the world to you.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And, being a non-binary actor, I think a lot of folks are excited to see themselves in another way. I've had several non-binary people message me and say, I always loved this show. I always felt I related to Emma, and now I get to see myself in a new way now that, you're doing this. So I think that's very exciting, and I think, all the more joy with it.
I think it's going to help a lot of people sort of come into the light all around the country.
Now, touring. Okay, so is your first big tour?
It's my first tour, period. Ever.
Have you toured before?
I have toured extensively, so we're talking a lot about the do's and don'ts of touring, and
So what kind of advice have you told, like what do you want to bring? Like, what's that go-to thing from your house that you can't live without?
Oh my gosh.
Have you thought about that yet?
Yeah.
We talked about sheets, pillow,
Yeah, my partner's like, you need to pack, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna bring my own pillow. That sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna bring a little magic bullet so I can make smoothies. People are saying maybe a hot plate or something like that, because hotels,
cookware if you cook, bring little pots and pans and all the things that you need to stay healthy and cook yourself. And
what's your go-to thing that's definitely going into that trunk?
Well, definitely my heels and a couple of I'm kidding. No, definitely a pot and a pan and cookware and spoons and all the things to take care of ourselves while we're out there.
Okay, so before this interview, you had stopped rehearsal, but then you went to a big dance rehearsal. So what were you rehearsing upstairs?
Oh, we were working on the finale.
Okay.
And I am not a dancer, so the team here is so incredible, and everyone is so supportive, and we have an amazing dance captain and assistant dance captain who's just been so generous with me and helpful, and we are getting it and we're working on it, and
Yes, you are.
It's very exciting, and I can't wait to dance for everyone.
But it's broken down not in steps, it's broken down in words, right?
Yes, there's a trick I'm learning. You can associate words for things like, opening a shower curtain or putting a sock on
Yeah.
for a move. So
Yeah.
it's very helpful. I'm a very visual person. So
I know. It's like if we don't know pas de bourrée or tendu, but we know open the shower curtain, put on your sock,
Yeah.
all those
Right.
things to connect with.
Right.
But like I said, just being back in rehearsal again and being with the company, what that has meant to you.
It's a lot. It means so much. There's a song sung in this show by Mr. Hawkins, right, about what the theater means to him. Every time that song is sung, I mean, we all are crying. And that song means something so much deeper now, I feel like, which is another layer. But, so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, the song she's talking about is a theater fan who's talking about, how much the actors do for us watching in the audience, and we look to you for comfort and for relief and to cry and to laugh and to love, and it does mean all that much more now that we've been through this last 18 months of nothing, and when he says we look to you to help us through, it really is touching now, even more so.
Yeah.
Why do you think The Prom is such a beloved musical?
It cracks you open with comedy and then reaches straight into the chest. I think that there's a very cathartic experience when a book and when a musical is able to do that. So that's why I think.
There's a lot to connect with. There's, it's about friendship, it's about loyalty, it's about love, it's about growing and learning, and there's a lot that happens for all of the characters in this play, and it's easy to sink your teeth into because there's a lot to be mined.
Yeah. Is there a favorite city you can't wait to go to on this tour?
I've never been anywhere, it feels like. Everywhere. No, I'm really excited to visit D.C. I've never been to Washington, D.C. I'm from California, so a lot of the East Coast cities I'm excited to explore. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to for that first live audience? Like, what are you looking forward to the most?
The energy, live energy. It's gonna be emotional, I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very hard to feel like my feet are on the ground because one, it's a dream, period. But two, it is different. We do look at it different now. It feels different. We're not going to take anything for granted. So
I do feel like it's going to come in waves, all of it, for all of us, that we're back now after 18 months of not working. I think there's going to be moments where when we hear the orchestra or when we hear the audience or, when we just, all of those components that make up a beautiful evening in the theater, it's going to come in waves, I think, emotionally for us. But we're ready.
Because we've missed all of that. And it's like just being back in the theater again. There's little things like being handed a playbill or just seeing an usher got me really emotional. Sitting in the seat, having the lights go down. It's all these things we've missed for all these months.
Yeah, the announcement. As soon as they make the announcement, like, please put away your whatever, candy. Immediately I went to see a show recently. I saw Passover, and that announcement happened, and I was like, oh, it's happening. It's all happening, and we're very excited to get on the road and be a part of it all.
Wait until the lights go down for your house and you hear that incredible overture and it starts.
That's what I'm saying. I have to stay focused because I don't want to fall apart, I have a little bit of a ramp before I have to go on stage, so maybe I'll have a little cry and then fix my makeup and go do the show.
Absolutely.
But it's gonna be so much energy. It's just gonna be so exciting.
We can't wait.
Yeah.
We can't wait.
Have the best time on the road. I will catch up with you in one of these cities and just keep a journal. Either keep a photo journal or a video journal, because you're going to go to all these cities and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I took this picture in Seattle or I took this picture in DC. You're going to remember all these places as you go through these cities.
Awesome. Sounds good. I can't wait.
We will. We'll keep you posted.
Yes.
Perfect. Keep us posted.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, both of you, for doing this at Broadway World. Really great.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
great.